Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Dennis Howe. Several candidates for governor are pounding the pavement right now. Why, you ask? Well, it is the only way they can get on the ballot. And who's in charge of the ballot? She's with us here today, the Secretary of the State, Denise Merrill. And Secretary Merrill, good to see you here.
Good to see you.
So a lot of people right now thinking the conventions are over, the election hasn't started yet, but they're getting a lot of candidates going door to door. Walk us through the process of what has to happen to make it on the ballot, beginning with, first of all, you have to file to be a petitioning candidate.
That's right. So these are people who have not qualified otherwise to be on the ballot. So they need to get 2% of the registered voters in their party to sign saying they would like to see them on the ballot.
And it's what, just over 9,000 for Republicans, 15,000 for Democrats.
Correct, right.
And independents?
Well, there's no primary for independents because this is a primary.
So. But they have to get on the ballot in the fall.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right, for the fall.
Same way.
Same way. There's some differences, but basically we're talking about a primary ballot that a candidate can get on for the primary in August. They can take out a petition to get those signatures, and they have to have it by, the signatures have to be in by June 12th. So it's a small window. Coming right up.
Yeah, coming right up.
Some of them have been collecting signatures since May 1st when you could first take out your petitions if you wanted to. So my understanding is we have more people collecting signatures than ever before. We haven't seen them yet, though, because the process is pretty long. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go out and get, let's argue, for Democrats, 15,000 signatures. Mm-hmm. A lot of them hire or have volunteer circulators who have to be registered to do that. They have to be in the party that they are circulating the petitions for. And then they have to get the signatures. The signatures have to be from registered party members. And this is the complicated part. Every page that has signatures, they can only be from one town.
So if you're like at a Stop and Shop, let's say
right.
in West Hartford, where people from Farmington and Avon and Hartford may shop, you need to be prepared for anybody.
That's right. You'd have to have separate sheets of paper for Farmington, Avon, New Britain, whatever.
And going to a Yard Goats game must be really difficult because they're from all over.
That's right, yeah. So you'd have to have literally pages and pages.
So you have until the end of business on Tuesday, correct?
That's right,
and you
4
must
o'clock.
turn them into the city or town, correct?
Yes.
And then what happens then?
Then those registrars of voter count and look at the signatures to make sure these are party registered people. Because, if you're at Stop and Shop, someone says to you, hey, you're a registered voter, would you like to sign? They may think they are, or they may be in the wrong town or whatever. So that all gets checked by the local registrars. They have about a week or so to do that. They then certify that the circulator is a registered voter, that everybody's on their list. And I brought a prop. Here's a copy of what you would sign if you were one of those people at Stop and Shop. Okay. Your name would go in here. And then on the back, everybody would have to certify to all this in every town that you had a signature from, right there.
This is a difficult process. We understand the last time it was done was Peter Schiff when he ran for Senate.
Right.
And how many of those signatures, and I know there's no way of knowing exactly, but generally speaking, what percentage is thrown out?
Oh, quite a few. Depending on the town. Oh, probably not half.
Okay.
But, that process all is going on at the registrar of voters office. That's why we always recommend that people get more than the number they need by a lot, because, some of the signatures may not be valid.
Because we've heard, like, Joe Ganim has already announced 20,000,
yes.
and some of the other candidates are saying that they have significantly more. It's sort of a new phenomenon. We haven't seen this before, where you're bragging about how many signatures you have because you want the word to get out that
That's right.
you're in.
It is. It's a new strategy.
What happens, so now the final date that you will issue the ballot is what, the end of June, I'm told?
Yes, that's right. So we have, during that period, the registrars have to count all those signatures, make sure they're valid. They then certify it and send it to us. We then have to go through and check it, count to make sure that the number is correct and so forth. And then we then certify it, then we can print the ballots.
Because of the extra demand on all these towns and cities this year, are they overwhelmed? Can they handle the work?
It remains to be seen because, of course, we're still in the middle of the process. Technically, they must get those to us. June 12th is the deadline to stop collecting signatures. But then they have a certain amount of time after that, from a week to 10 days, could even go a little longer, because there are an enormous number of signatures being checked as we speak.
I know some people who've not even been asked to sign a petition yet, and perhaps that'll happen this weekend in the next couple of days. But it in no way commits you to that candidate, correct? I know that there's some belief
No.
out there that, oh, it means I'm supporting so-and-so.
That's right. It means nothing. It just means, yes, I think this person should be allowed to get on the ballot.
We'll have to wait and see. What's your prediction? How many do you think will make it?
Boy, I think at least a few. I mean, we have, right now.
Well, there are
we have
3 Republicans out there and 2
right,
Democrats.
Yes, and there's probably one other that we think is collecting signatures, but we really only know from what we read so far, because very few of them have submitted any yet. But I'm thinking some of them are going to make it, yeah.
Do you plan on a big announcement one day saying, hey, X, Y, and Z made it, but B did not, or are you going to do it individually?
I'm sure those individuals will be the first ones to make those announcements.
Once they hear from you, they'll
yes,
make the announcement.
Yes, that's
Good enough.
right.
Secretary of the State Denise Merrill, a fascinating election year.
Yes, indeed.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with Andy Bissett of the Travelers about the big event coming up soon. You know it, the Travelers Championship. And we welcome you to watch old interviews of Face the State, or as we call them, vintage interviews of Face the State. They are on YouTube and on our website, WFSB.com. We'll be right back.